I just meet somebody who's typically British, or did I just meet one asshole?
So I asked him, I was like, Dad, like, do you owe squirrels money?
I recently took my first steps on the property ladder, which was very exciting, but it's very difficult to get that deposit together, isn't it? Start to think to yourself, was I involved in an accident that wasn't my fault? Because that'd be really useful about now. Weirdly, the biggest commitment wasn't the mortgage, it was actually joining my building's WhatsApp group. What are these people doing? Why do they have so much time on their hands? Now you enjoy this stand-up while I go through, wow, 4,452 messages about what to put in the blue bin. It's cardboard. It's always been cardboard. It's cardboard, you morons. Now it's Ben Pope.
I spent most of my first lockdown living with my family. I lived with my mum and my sister and my biological dad. My dad. I don't have another one. I just like to call him that because it freaks him out. I was living with them, and it was lovely. Loved the guys, good guys. But it was strange. I was being rung up by like my friends who like lived in couples or lived on their own, and they were always like, "Oh, all that family time. You must be so relaxed. It must be so relaxing. Are you relaxed? You must feel so relaxed. Are you relaxed?" And obviously, nothing relaxes me more than being repeatedly asked if I'm relaxed. But also, it's like the wrong question, right? Isn't it? It's like they're like focusing on the wrong... Like I was spending 24 hours a day with these people for 5 months. Like asking if I'm relaxed is like asking a tsunami survivor if they feel moisturized. Like it's not... do you know what I mean? So you must have such wonderful skin. Well, but you wouldn't ask someone who's just been circumcised if they've lost weight. Like it's not...
It's the brilliant Sam Lake.
So I'm from this town called Redruth, where we have the slogan, you can take the boy out of Redruth, but that would violate his probation. I don't go back to my hometown. I haven't been back there in about 8 years, which is a long time to not go home, but I have good reason to, because the last time I heard about Redruth was in a BBC News article, and the headline read, "Mystery swimming pool shitter strikes again." Just repeat, strikes again happened multiple times. And what's disgusting is the police had never seen this type of crime committed before, so they had to come up with a new name for it, and they decided to call it logging, which is disgusting. What a choice of words. And they haven't caught the guy who's been doing it, so everyone's calling this mystery man the Logger. Awful, awful name, and I'm the only one who still has to call him Dad.
Get excited, it's Maria Shehata.
When I was living in LA, I met a guy who lived in London. We fell in love. Then we fell out of love immediately after I moved, because it turns out what was working about our relationship was the distance between LA and the UK. That 6,000-mile buffer, that was perfect for us. We should have kept that going. And I stopped pausing after I say I fell in love, because UK audiences, you never cheer it. You've never once cheered that I fell in love. Not once. Like, I'm used to American audiences, because when I say I fell in love in America, they go crazy, because they love love in America and guns, and we just lose it. They're always like, you fell in love, woo! Pow, 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 yeah, you did it, you know, but you don't do that here. I don't know what that is. I don't know if you're more jaded. And then after we broke up, I just stayed in the UK, because I like it here. I like you guys. But, thank you. But it's weird when you're in a new country and you meet people for the first time, because you don't know. Like, did I just meet somebody who's typically British, or did I just meet one asshole? Like, you don't know. And, like, you're not at all. You're very nice people, but y'all vomit in public a lot, okay? It's a lot, and it's more than most places. You need to know that about yourselves. It's too much. Like, and it's such a simple fix, too. Just eat before you go out. That's it. Like, just have a sandwich or a pickle, anything. Just eat something, you know? When I first moved here, I was talking to this guy, and outside of a pub, we were having a nice conversation, and then just out of nowhere, he was like, oh, 1 second. Well, he turned around, which was really sweet, and then he comes out. Where are you from? LA, we do that in the toilets. After we eat, you know, like normal people, so.
My parents particularly, they'll do this thing called upcycling. Basically what it is you sort of find something, or you get it for free or for cheap, and then here's the clever part. You put it in the corridor and you trip over it on the way to the loo at night for a decade. And they do that. My parents have this amazing ability to see like the future career in an object. They'll see like, like a broom handle. They'll be like, oh, that broom handle could be a walking stick, or that milk pot could be a plant pot, or our son could be a lawyer, and it never happens. And the problem with it is I wouldn't mind, but my parents are from a different generation, older for reference. So when they die, like I'm gonna get all this stuff that they've been hoarding, because that's the way. Like they own their house. When they pass away, I'll get their house. That's the only way our generation can buy houses. Because houses don't cost money anymore; they cost relatives. So. I'm just going to get all this stuff, and it's not like useful stuff either. It's not like helpful in any way. Like people always talk about hoarding, and they're like, oh, it's big piles of books or like magazines or whatever. That's not real hoarding. Real hoarding is when you go in your dad's garage and you find a suitcase full of pine cones. Like what the hell is he doing with that? Is he trying to kidnap Autumn? Like what is the... trying to blackmail a tree. Like I don't really understand. Give me the money or I'll burn the children. Like it's not normal. So I asked him. I was like, Dad, like, do you owe squirrels money? And and he was like, well, what I like to do is when I go on a walk. Your mother loves pine cones. She loves decorating the house with pine cones. If I find a pine cone on my walk, I'll like pick it up and I'll bring it home and I'll put it in the suitcase in the garage, which is sweet, isn't it? But it's also creepy because being like, I love the autumn, therefore I keep a suitcase full of pine cones in the garage. It's like being like, oh, I'm a people person because I've got one in the boot. Like it's not.
Now we have the brilliant George Zacharopoulos.
If you want to improve your life drastically, very quickly, buy a dishwasher. It's the worst job in the house, isn't it? I got one of them. I was like glorious, right? Like there's nothing worse than doing the dishes. Every other job in the house, there's something to it. When you're hoovering in the house and you get something in the hoover and you suck it up, it goes ping, 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 ping. That felt great actually. I might carry on with this shit, right? But washing dishes, nada. It's the worst job in the house, okay? That's why back in Greece, we smashed them. And it was... There's nothing good about washing. So I got it was working fine. 2 weeks in, it broke down. I was furious. It was under warranty. Mechanic comes, he's fixing it. I'm like, mate, what's broken in the dishwasher? He's like, the sprinklers can't apply appropriate pressure. I'm like, wow, what's blocked the sprinklers? And his response will haunt me forever. Because this guy looked at me in the eyes and he said this: do you put dirty dishes? Believe it or not, I do. He was like, you should not do that. You should not put dirty dishes in the dishwasher. I was like, mate, what do you suggest I do instead? And he said, you should wash them first. And he looked at me like I am the moron in this conversation. Wash the dishes before you put them in the dishwasher. What kind of alternate universe have I woken up in when the peak of the dishwashing technology requires you do the job first? I found myself negotiating with a repairman as to what kind of leftovers I'm allowed to have remaining on the dish. I wanted to scrape off, and the madness continued. He was like, I don't know, mate, if you have any pasta on the dishes, don't put the pasta with the dish in the dishwasher. I'm like, mate, who puts pasta in the dishwasher? I want clean plates, not clean ravioli.